Welcome to the Wake Up Show. Here comes the trivia.
And here we are. Welcome to the Wake Up Show. Here we are on a Saturday morning. It's not even 8 a.m. It's early. It's about 49 past the hour. So it's about 11 minutes to 8 a.m. Eastern in the US time. Welcome. It's Doug from Doug Hewson YouTube here, and it's another week of trivia on the Wake Up Show, as indicated by our friend on the voiceover there today. I need to get this music going in the background here. Let me just make sure this is all doing what it's supposed to do, and then we're going to get right into the chat. And I'm going to give a shout out to people who are in the chat. First of all, who were here before the stream started. There was a few in the chat today. Let's head on over. Let's transition to that one here. Sweeney Dunstan Gaming, of course, was there. Chris Conkle Vlogs was in pre-stream. GYSI. The Predictor was also in pre-stream. And Lilytree popped in as well before we went live. And Shelby's Corner jumped in just in time. And also Super Dave, and I think this is about where we went live. And here's everybody coming in. JB the Pro, welcome. And I'm not popping people up. I'm not popping people up. What's wrong with me? I'm not popping people. Here we go. This is how it's done. This is a proper shout out. JB the Pro, welcome to the stream. We'll go back and we'll cover everybody that I've already mentioned as we come through. Twinkly Tanya Plays, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Let's just head on down. Of course, we missed Sweeney Dunstan Gaming before. Here comes the trivia, indeed. And Super Dave USA. Uncle Dan is in the house. Well, you're in right on time, Uncle Dan. You didn't miss a thing. We're right at the start. So, however you found out, that's great. Lilytree officially welcomed in now. Techrand is in the house, of course. And Twinkly Tanya says, Uncle Dan, Unicorns Unite. All right, today we've got a bunch of brand new trivia. No special theme. It's not Aussie Week. It's not anything. It's just plain old general knowledge trivia like we always do. So how's your week been? Let us know how your week's been in the chat. Let's get it in there and make sure to share the stream out for the people who may not have got a notification or may not have checked the bell. So share it however you'd like to share these things on social media, whether it be Twitter or Facebook or however you like to share things these days. Did I just turn something off? I did turn something off. There we go. Clicking too many buttons here. Beautiful. Well, in a moment we're going to get right into the first trivia question. But we'll give... Super Dave USA says he's half awake and half asleep. Well, if it's pre 8 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, I come to expect that as well. Let's give a shout out to 8-Bit Reactor saying hello, welcome to the stream. I think I've got some bit of lagginess going on there on the thing, so let's just change cameras for a second, point a few things out here. Who else? Alex Tox is in the house as well. Welcome to the stream. Sweeney's saying he's half dead, half alive. That's worse than half awake, half asleep, I think. This week, Uncle Dan has been looking for a desk arm mic mount. Something similar to this, I would imagine. Something just to your taste, because, you can pick up a lot of this stuff on Amazon pretty cheap. But sometimes you want something that just meets your purpose, can carry the weight and all that. Anyway, we'll let everyone come on in. We've got a few people here. We're going to hit, for the early birds, we're going to hit the first trivia question in about 30 seconds. And let's head on over. Let's bring it up on the screen. The trivia screen is here. We're back and it's working properly. And I have the questions ready to go. We've got a bunch of them. We've got a bunch of science, history, TV. There's all sorts of stuff on tonight's question list. We'll hit them up shortly. Uncle Dan says he went $400 crazy this week. It'd be good if I brought it up. He wants the live stream podcast. Absolutely. 2019 is the year of the podcast, I reckon. People going nuts on podcasts, and me included. Keep your eye open for the Tech for Content Creation podcast coming your way very soon on all the podcast platforms. Have I got a thing for that? No, because I haven't started. I've got a few test podcasts from last year that are up, that aren't a part of the official podcast, but they're there nonetheless. So interesting. So anybody else planning on podcasting in 2019? Let me know. I want to... No, I don't have one for that. Okay. Just looking at my buttons. And good morning to Janine Murray. Just woke up. It's 8 a.m. Yes, just come out to 8 a.m. Eastern, and I have got it happening. Janine is also asking, what is a podcast? A podcast is basically just an audio. It's like listening to the radio, but it comes to you in like a podcast app. Say Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, where basically it's like a syndicated show. You get it, an episode every week or every month or every couple of days from the creator, and it might be like a 10, 15, 20, 30 minute up to an hour sort of it's just an audio. There's no video, although there are video podcasts as well. But you get them, and because it's syndicated, it just comes straight into your app. You get it on your phone or your tablet or whatever you listen to podcasts on, and you can just go about your business during the day with your headphones on, your earphones on, and just listen to whatever the content's about. And there's podcasts about everything, whether it's music, wrestling, content creation, you name it, entrepreneurship, everything. I see that Midnight says he's just started podcasting. Make sure. I think what we might do is a little bit later in the stream, I'm going to get everyone to, if you've got a podcast, you can drop the name of your podcast. Actually, go ahead and do it now. Drop the name of your podcast if you've got one in the chat and share it. Let everybody know about it. I'm happy to promote people's podcasts. You just have to say, hey, I got a podcast. It's called this. And hopefully the title is self-explanatory. People go, oh, yeah, I'm into that. I'll check it out. Because then they can go on their favorite podcast platform and search it out. Because I'm all about the podcasts. All right. And there's Midnight's Tough Truck Talk. Love it. Love it. That's a good name. All right. Let's hit the trivia questions, shall we? As my friend Mike always says.
Here comes the trivia.
All right. What is the first question? No, that's not the question. That's Midnight's thing. Okay. Space question to start off. I hope Launchpad isn't here yet because he'll jump on it first. In what year did the Apollo 7 human spaceflight take place? In what year did the Apollo 7 human spaceflight take place? So it's a history/space question. So if you know the answer, pop it in the comments right now and we'll see if you're right. And I like to put 2 minutes on the clock for people to have about 2 minutes to actually put their answer in. I'm getting a little bit lag on my camera, so I'm going to get the 2 minutes started, and then I'm going to switch to my back camera. Let's see if it's still live. I brought back camera in there. There I am. Let me wave. There's my setup. I'm coming at you from right here. It's my new addition today is my desk mouse, full-length desk mouse pad, which is a map of the world. So this is it here. So I thought I'd show that off at the beginning of the stream, just to change, give you a little bit of an angle. Let me wave back at you again, and let's switch back to the camera there. Gee, I'm getting some lag out of that Logitech tonight. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's start highlighting some answers. All right, I'm going to just jump off this screen just to reset things for a second. Yeah, my Logitech is lagging. Indeed. So I'm going to go start pulling up the answers. Where's the first answer? Uncle Dan's first one in with a guess and or correct answer. We will find out soon. 1964. Janine's gone with the year 2000. Alex Tox has gone with 1968. Super Dave's also going 1964. Needs more subs is in the house and has let us know that his podcast is called Heavy Breathing with Captain Needy. Is that a legit one, or is that a bit of a... Are you pulling my leg on that one? 8-Bit Reactor says 1965. Just to get back to these answers, got just about 35 seconds before I reveal the answer. Tech Rant says 1978. Janine Murray's also going 1978. Twinkie Tanya says 1968. Sweeney's saying, is it yesterday? I don't know. Alex was also going 1968 and says hashtag Google, so he reckons he's Googled the answer. We shall see. We shall see. And and I think that's all the answers that come in. And there's the buzzer. That means it's time to reveal the answer. Let me get back over to the trivia screen. I get some serious camera lag here tonight. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Maybe I'm going to have to, I don't know. In what year did the Apollo 7 spaceflight take place? Let's reveal the answer, shall we? Drum roll, please. And the answer was 1968. So if you said 1968, big pat on the back. But regardless of whether you had it right or wrong, try and remember that answer. It might come up later tonight in Nimmin Live during One Tip Trivia or on a future episode of Nimmin Live, because sometimes they pull questions from the past. That's right. So there you go. Make a note of every answer. That's my tip for today. I want to do something about this laggy camera, so I'm just trying to think what I can do. If I can get my FaceTime camera working. Ooh. I might have glitched everything out there. Here we go. Can I bring up my FaceTime camera? No, my FaceTime camera is not coming up. Alright. Let me just go to the back camera for a second. Here I am. That's not too much of a delay. So you look at the back of my head. There we go. Let me pop a question real quick. Alex says, when is Nimmin Live? Nimmin Live is in exactly an hour from now at 9 a.m. Eastern. So in about exactly an hour, which will be right after this show. So yeah. That's it. Let's see if I can switch that back. My laptop cam isn't coming up as an option, probably because I had it in clamshell mode. So I'm waving, and I'm not waving there. So there's a bit of delay there. So I'm just going to pop that. I'm not sure why that is tonight. I don't normally have that. All right, let's hit the next trivia question regardless, because you can see the trivia questions. And here it is. What luxury car company introduced the Boxster Roadster in 1996? What luxury car company introduced the Boxster Roadster in 1996? 2 minutes on the clock. If you know the answer or you want to have a guess, put it in the chat right now. And we're coming at you with the answer in about 2 minutes' time. And I'm going to pull up the correct answer when the buzzer goes. Oh, yeah, I'm just doing a little camera test here to see what the delay's like. All right. Maybe I can do this. If I go to my screen capture just to show my screen for a second, maybe that'll reset things. And then we'll go back to, say, that camera. All right, we'll start highlighting some answers. I will solve that problem. Uncle Dan's first in with an answer saying BMW. Okay. 8-bit Reactor's gone with Rolls Royce. Tech Rant has gone with Porsche, or Porsche, however you like to pronounce it, depending if you're a Top Gear geek or not. Janine Murray's gone with the Lambo, short for Lamborghini. Midnight Madness 4x4, Chrysler. Lily Tree's also going with Porsche. Super Dave USA, second. Midnight Madness comes back with a no way, it's a Porsche. Sweeney Dunstan Gaming is also going with Porsche. We're getting a lot of Porsches now. Twinkly Tanya says Porsche. Janine said Lambo again. Alex is popping in a paragraph answer, so but he's come back with a short answer, Porsche. And there goes the buzzer. We're going to jump back over and get ready to reveal the answer to the question. There is the question, just for those that are coming in late. What luxury car company introduced the Boxster Roadster in 1996? And drum roll. The answer is the Porsche, or Porsche. If you said that, pat on the back, you got it right. So, well done, well done. All right. All right. Let's clear the board. I'm gonna jump to another screen. We're gonna do some troubleshooting live on air. This is somewhat of a tech channel. We do tech for content creation. Hey, when we have trouble with our live streams, what do? We try and fix them. So yeah, there's a definite delay on my camera. So I need to grab my other camera. Let's see how that goes. The only problem is it's got a little watermark. It even seems like I've got a slight delay, but it's not a bigger delay as I have on my Logitech. So I need to how do I shut my Logitech down whilst I'm streaming? This is how you troubleshoot. Luckily I had the extra camera hooked up tonight. I wonder if I've got too many things going on. Maybe that's what's lagging, the fact that I've got too many things going on. So what I'm going to do is let's do a bit of testing here. I had my other phone plugged in as a camera source for showing the screen in case I need to go to that, but I don't usually use that for this particular show. So let's jump back now that I don't have that camera coming in. Let's see if what's the delay like. It's about a second delay. There's probably a lip sync issue there. It doesn't look live. So what if I actually stop sending this other phone as well? What if I'm just taxing everything out? There we go. I was just sending too much information to the computer. The computer was not handling all the camera inputs. Boom, fixed. Thank you very much. Thanks for bearing with me there. Let's jump back into the chat before we continue on. Alex says popping up a buffering. Yeah, that might have been just something extra that was happening, but yeah, I can see I'm now somewhat in sync, so that's always good. Military says this is a troubleshooting masterclass, and yeah, we troubleshooted, we fixed it. It was the fact that I had extra inputs and my computer just wasn't coping with the extra video feeds. Alex says, why can't I see anything? Oh, I closed my eyes. Well done. And Beanie says, MacBook Airs aren't for streaming. Absolutely. The fact that I'm pushing this stream out on a 2012 MacBook Air is testament to Apple for it even working. So 2019, the year of the iMac. That's my plan, get an iMac. A nice beefy iMac with RAM and CPU graphics card for the purpose of pushing out chunky streams and a bit of editing as well. So there we go, we're back with it. Thank you everyone for bearing with me. So let us jump back to the trivia screen and see what question we got next, because it's all happening here. A little bit of issues there, but now we have questions and we have me in time and synced. Here we go. What is the name for a male bee that comes from an unfertilized egg? What is the name for a male bee that comes from an unfertilized egg? All right, here we go. 2 minutes on the clock. Pop the answer, your guess, your Googled answer, or whatever it might be in the chat right now, and we'll see what everyone says. I'm just going to jump into the chat before we start, before the answers start coming through. Janine Murray says, should I stream more? And I say, yes, absolutely. We should all stream more. But I'm biased. I like streaming. I think streaming is cool. The timer, I don't have a visual timer predictor. It's just on my stream deck. It's a little countdown clock. A button is programmed for 2 minutes. And then when it goes off, it just makes a buzzing noise. So that's where the timer is. I don't have a timer clock. But I do have the other timer, though. If you talk about the other timer, I do have the Countdown to Nimmin live timer that I can put up there. So there's that timer. Thank you for reminding me. All right, we're starting to get those answers for the trivia question coming in. The first one I can see here is from Super Dave. Says, drone. Alex Stock says, the answer is a male bee that comes from an unfertilized egg. That's not the answer, that's the question. Janine says, a honey husband. I like that answer. That's a pretty clever answer. Twinkly Tanya says, drone. Uncle Dan is in with drone as well. Alex Tox is in with drone. Janine's in with GTG buy, but I think that means got to go. Thanks for popping by, even for the first part of the stream, Janine. Thanks for joining in on a couple of questions. Lily Tree is in with drone. Lily Tree says, droning on. Are you talking about me? Predictor is in with drone, and I've caught up, and I've got 10 seconds left on the clock before we reveal the answer to this trivia question. What is the name for a male bee that comes from an unfertilized egg? We had a pretty good consensus on this particular question. And there it is. That's the buzzer. So what is the answer to the question? Drum roll, please. And you guys are right. It's a drone. Well done. Well done. A drone. Not to be confused with those things that fly in the sky, which are also drones. All right. And don't forget, all these questions I'm sending to D Nimmin for Nimmin Live later on today. And I didn't say tonight, so I'm proud of myself for that. Who's ready for another? Who's ready for a classic TV question? We haven't had too many of those on the Wake Up Show in the past, but tonight we've got 2 questions from classic television, and this is the first one coming up right now. Get ready. All you older folks, or people who like to watch classic American TV and sitcoms, you'll probably know the answer to this. Actually, to both questions. Here we go. How many castaways were there on the American sitcom Gilligan's Island? How many castaways were there on the American sitcom Gilligan's Island? All right. 2 minutes on the clock, and your time starts now. We're counting down. How many castaways were there on the island in Gilligan's Island? If you know the theme song, you might be able to work it out. Yep, the theme song gives you the correct answer. Answers are coming in, so we're going to start highlighting them. And yes, of course, the answer is going to be a number. And the question is that number correct? First one in with an answer this time is needs more subs with 6. Yes. Sweeney Dunstan Gaming says 7. Alex Tox is also going with 7. Super Dave USA says 7. The Predictor says 7. Needs more subs has updated his answer to 7. Uncle Dan's partial to Marianne. Twinkly Tanya says 7. 8-Bit Reactor is also going with 7. Lily Tree says no idea. No idea. Needs more subs said he forgot the Professor. You can't forget the Professor and his zany inventions. Shelby's Corner says 7 Gilligans. Twinkly Tanya says, now the question is, do they want us to write it as a number or as a word? For my show, I'll take it as either or, and I believe even over on Nimmin Live, if this question comes up later, they'll take either or because it is a number answer. You can write it in long form or you can write in short form. I think to get it in quick, for one tip trivia, you want to write the number 7 or 6 or whatever it might be. And our timer is nearly up. Standing by. Gonna clear the screen because we're about to reveal the answer. There we go. How many castaways were there on Gilligan's Island? And the answer is, now my answer is written in words, but I still accept them written in numbers. And the answer is 7. So whether you wrote it as the number 7 or the word 7, you are correct. Bonus points if you can name all 7 people in the chat right now. If you can name all 7 characters on Gilligan's Island, put them in the chat right now. Let's see who can get this. And I'll give you the first one, Gilligan. I'm going to clear the board. I'm going to leave it on the board because we're still discussing Gilligan's Island. So I'm going to leave that question on the board for the time being. So if you can name all 7, bonus brownie points, as we call them on the Wake Up Show. Bonus brownie points are for you. And I'm looking to see. Twinkly Tanya approves of the victory song there from Final Fantasy. Is that where it's from? I knew it was from a game. I got it from somewhere. I'll use a different sound effect next. We'll see what happens. Okay. Uncle Dan says he can name them all, but he's lazy. Shelby's having a crack. Gilligan, and Gilligan. What if I can answer my own question? What if I go in the chat and actually type in the answer? Is that what the names were? In no particular order, of course. I have submitted my answers into... And here we go. Alex Tox has come in. Gilligan. Oh, he's even put who they're played by. Oh, you only given me 4 of them. Gilligan, played by Bob Denver. Skipper, played by Alan Hale Jr. First and Hal the Third. Jim Backus and the rest lure tourists to their and the rest. Yeah, poor rest. What about these people? And I spelt Mary Ann wrong. I don't know. I got Mary Abe. Gilligan, Skipper, Mr. and Mrs. I'll put Hal, but it's Hal. I stand corrected. The Professor, Mary Ann, and Ginger in no particular order. Ginger was the movie star. The Professor was the Professor. Mr. and Mrs. Howe were millionaires. The Skipper was the Skipper, and Gilligan was his first mate on the boat as they went out for their day trip, never to return until many years later. Who remembers the Gilligan Island movies? Who remembers the one with the Harlem Globetrotters? There you go. I'm going to clear the board. Let's clear the board. Clearing the board. Let's jump back to a nice clean board. Let's just see what's happening in the chat right now. And Lily Tree suggests I get the bonus points because I did name them all, but I did spell Marianne wrong. Oh, this is disturbing. Super Dave USA says Gilligan and Marianne had a baby and named him Doug. Is that true? All right. Everything's looking in order. It's time for the next trivia question. And this one is a food-related question. It's a food and a particular cuisine because it's going to ask us a particular question about a particular place. Tom Yum is a type of hot and sour soup that originated in what country? Tom Yum is a type of hot and sour soup that originated in what country? If you know what country that is, then put it in the chat right now. Let's see if you got it right. 2 minutes on the clock. Here we go. It's a country. I'm going to give you a hint. It's somewhere in the Asian region. The broad Asian region. Anywhere in there. It's one of those countries. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. And answers are coming in, so we're going to start highlighting those answers. Here we go. First in with a guess and or answer is Alex Tox with Japan. Lanky Jen, welcome to the stream, has come in with an answer. China with a question mark. G's in with the answer Japan with a question mark. Twinkly Tanya says China as well. Uncle Dan is going with Canada because that's one of my favourite Asian countries is Canada. Alex Tox says, I mean Thailand. Because Thailand and Japan, you know, you can get them confused. 8-bit Reactors also going with Japan. Super Dave's going with Romania, which is interesting. Lily Tree's gone with Vietnam. Now, we had a question a few weeks ago about a food dish, and the answer was Vietnam. But this is a different question. That's all guesses I've got in the chat presently. I'm just looking. We've got about just over 30 seconds left before we reveal the answer. Tom Yum is a type of hot and sour soup that originated in what country or which country? Let me see. I have seen the correct answer on the screen already. Somebody or somebodies have given the correct answer. Alex says, I guess Japan, but Google says Thailand. But is Google correct? That is the question. We'll find out in a couple of seconds. And time is up. And now it is time to figure out is Google correct? Is the answer Thailand? Is it Japan? Let's find out. And the answer is Thailand. So if you said Thailand, Alex Tox, you're about the only one that said Thailand. Pat on the back, that's the correct answer. Make a note of that. Tom Yum, Thailand. Something if you're ever talking to Dee or Nick, ask them if they had Tom Yum, because they live in Thailand. So there you go. I did drop a subtle hint just after I read the question. I subtly put my finger up here and pointed at Niminati for a few seconds with my finger to say, hey, the Nimins live in Thailand. It's Thailand. Cryptic, I know. All right. Let us continue on with the next question. In which US city was Walt Disney born? In which US city was Walt Disney born? It's a city in the US of A. And all you have to do is guess. Look up the answer, whatever it might be. 2 minutes on the clock. And there we go. Counting down. We'll see what's going on in the chat. Super Dave USA says the land of Nimminati. There we go. That sounds like it could be a future country there. The land of Nimminati. The Commonwealth of the Nimminati. Uncle Dan says, and we never saw Doug again after he got his channel pulled for openly questioning the correctness of Google in a YouTube video. Yes, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you on Instagram. All right, here we go. Some answers coming in. Alex Tox says California. California is a state. We're looking for a US city. Lanky Jen has gone with Los Angeles. Super Dave USA says Orlando. Interesting answers. Seeing one of the Disney's is in California and LA. The other one is in Orlando, Florida. The Disneyland of Disney World. Alex Stock says, I mean Chicago. What do you mean about mean Chicago? All right. Twinkly Tanya says Chicago. 8-Bit Reactors also going with Chicago. We've got a run of Chicago's here. Alex Stock says Illinois. Illinois is the state that Chicago is in. They sometimes say Chicago, Illinois, so you don't get confused with a Chicago in some other state, which there probably is. No, in the US, there's probably a town or a city in a different state with the same name. How many Springfields are in the United States? There's a bunch of them. Alright, what's going on my... Just getting alerts popping off on my phone. It always happens. Lincoln Jen says, I think it's probably Chicago. Alex Stock says Hermosa. I don't know what Hermosa is. Maybe Hermosa. Is Hermosa a suburb, maybe? And the buzzer's gone. Let's check the answer. In which US city was Walt Disney born? And here we go. The answer is Chicago. And it is the Chicago in Illinois, not the Chicago in another state. Well done. Well done. If you said Chicago, pat on the back. Make a note of that answer. Chicago, Illinois is the correct answer. Which US city? Walt Disney. Who is Walt Disney? The founder of the empire, which is now Disney. Let's clear the board for the next question. How are we going? Ah, yes. We're tracking quite well. All right, a literary question for you literary-minded people out there. There might be one of you out there. Let's have a look. The Great Gatsby was written by which author? The Great Gatsby was written by which author? If you know the answer, put it in the comments right now, or you can Google it however you like to do it. 2 minutes is on the clock. Counting down. So the author of The Great Gatsby. Now, The Great Gatsby, I believe, is a novel. And we'll start highlighting answers in just a second. They're starting to come in. So here we go. First person I see with an answer is Uncle Dan, of course. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Alex Tock says, me. Well, that's amazing. It's amazing that you were able to write all those years ago. Twinkly Tanya says Scott Fitzgerald. Super Dave USA is going with Orson Welles. Shelby's Corner just says Scotty. Alex Tox has jumped in with F. Scott Fitzgerald. 8-Bit Reactor, he's just reversing it a little bit, going with Scott F. Fitzgerald. Getting little combinations thereof there happening today. And a good welcome to the stream to Queenie Roll. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. Lily Tree says, suddenly, hang on if I can highlight that. Suddenly I don't feel all that literary. Don't worry, if you asked me who the author of The Great Gatsby was, I wouldn't know either. Luckily, I look up the questions beforehand, so I know the questions and the answers. Just clicking on random comments here. Here we go. Let's see. We're going to reveal the answer in about just over 10 seconds. Looking at how much time's left on the clock there. I think everybody's had a crack at the answer there. We might have had the correct answer come up already. We'll see in 0 seconds. We're going to reveal the answer. Let's standing by. And here it comes. The Great Gatsby was written by which author? And this is how I got it from our friends. Where I got it from? And the answer is Scott Fitzgerald. And I'm assuming that it is actually F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's the same person. The place I got the answer from just said Scott Fitzgerald. But regardless, if you said Scott Fitzgerald or F. Scott Fitzgerald, you are correct. Boom. That's probably the hardest question of the night. I reckon. I think. From memory. Let's have a look. But we're gonna crack on to the next question in just a sec. I don't think there's anything happening in chat that I need to look at. No, everything's good. Everything is good. And don't forget, this is the Wake Up Show where we do trivia to get your brain up and running and ticking over before Nimmin Live starts at 9 a.m. Eastern, which is coming up in exactly half an hour. And my friend Mike, he likes to come in and say this before we start doing trivia.
Here comes the trivia.
Indeed, here comes the trivia. And we're going to go straight into the next question. Ireland suffered the Great Famine beginning in 1845 due to the collapse of what crop? Ireland suffered the Great Famine beginning in 1845 due to the collapse of what crop? If you know the answer, make sure you pop it in the chat. And 2 minutes is on the clock. We're going to start hitting the answers in a few seconds. Okay, the 18 minutes on the... to answer Alex's question, that 18 minutes there is the count. What it actually says there, it's a countdown to Nimmin Live. Well, that actual time is when I'm aiming to finish this stream. When they hit 0 is when I go, okay, I need to wrap things up. When it hits 0, I go, it's time to wrap up. Because then that gives me about 5 to 10 minutes to finish up my stream and get on over to the Nimmin live stream. And to allow you guys to get over to the Nimmin live stream as well. Now it's time to start highlighting some questions. Answers, I should say. Not questions. The question is there. All right. Let's see. First answer that I can see in the chat. I've got to scroll back up. Lanky Jen has come in with potatoes. I said it funny, but yes, potatoes. Uncle Dan says potato, only one singular potato, because that's the whole crop was just one potato. Super Dave's potatoes. 8-Bit Reactor also going with potatoes. Lily Tree's going with potato. Beanie Draws is back. Probably was lurking the whole time. It says potatoes. Twinkly Tanya says potatoes. Alex Tox says the potato crop. And Lanky Jen says French fries. How long we got left? Just over 20 seconds before we reveal the answer. Bit of trivia from additional bonus trivia from Uncle Dan. Fun fact, if it wasn't for the potato famine, the North probably wouldn't have won the Civil War. The Irish were being conscripted right off the boat. So they were leaving Ireland and going to America, is what you're saying. And then they'll go, hey, come join our side. We're going to shoot at the people in the South. All right. That buzzer tells me that it's time to reveal the answer. I think we've got a consensus of potatoes there. So let's see if we're correct. And the answer is, we'll go back to the drum roll. Potato. So you said potato, which pretty much everybody did, and you got it right. Well done. Well done. And you know how I said we had a couple of classic TV questions, and the first one was the Gilligan's Island question. The second one is coming up as the very next question, and it's pretty much the same vintage of television. They're made about the same time, within a few years of each other, I'd say. They might have even crossed over somewhat. We'll get to that. I'm just going to linger. I'm not going to pull the question up straight away. I want you to be waiting and salivating for the question. Alex Stock says, what is that website name? I don't know what website that is. What website is that, Alex? It's a mystery to me. Haha, Sheedy's back. Welcome back. I'm back after a long time. I thought you were here last week when we did all the Australia questions. I thought you were here. Didn't seem that like that long ago, but that was the last stream. That's the last time I streamed. It was a week ago today, right now. A week ago, this very moment, give or take an hour. Because I think I did go out late last week. I did. I went out late last week. All right. I've teased you enough with the question, with that tease for that question. So let's go. Here we go. Which actress played the genie in the American comedy sitcom I Dream of Jeannie? Which American actress played the genie in the American comedy sitcom I Dream of Jeannie? 2 minutes is on the clock. Who played the genie in I Dream of Jeannie? Put your answer, your guess, or otherwise in the comments right now, and we'll see if you are right. No, you have not missed it. We're every week on Saturday morning, or whatever time of Saturday it is where you are. Right where I'm at, it's Saturday evening. We've got answers coming in. We're about to start highlighting them. Here we go. Lanky Jen is the first one in with an answer. Says Barbara Eden. And Super Dave USA is also backing up with Barbara Eden as well. Tech for Your Needs is in the house. Welcome to the stream, Tech for Your Needs. We've had Tech Rant here earlier. Now we've got Tech for Your Needs. All the tech channels are coming in. Give me a what up if you're a tech channel today. Just wave at me in the chat, or thumbs up, or however you want to fist bump. All right, let's keep highlighting answers here. Next with an answer is Alex Tox says Barbara Eden. Hashid has come in with Barbara Eden also, 8-bit reactor. Barbara Eden. Alex Tox again says potatoes. No, I mean Barbara Eden. Super Dave USA says make 3 wishes and she will grant them. That'd be nice. Twinkly Tanya plays says Barbara Eden as well. Risha Z, or Z, depending on how you pronounce it, says, hi, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We're about to reveal the answer to the question below in exactly 10 seconds. That's how much time's left. I'm seeing if there's anybody more coming in. I see a few thumbs up in the chat there, so I don't know if they're all thumbs up for, hey, we're tech channels, or what that is. But there's a few thumbs up. Alex has given us a thumbs up. I know there's one there. Lanky Chen says, Alex, laughing thumbs up. Hashit says, Barbara is the right answer, I am sure. Very convinced in the answer. Well, we're going to reveal the answer right now, so we'll see if you are indeed right. I think that was the main answer everybody went with, is Barbara Eden. So let's see if everybody is correct or if everybody's wrong. Here we go. And the answer is Barbara Eden. Pat on the back and trumpets and salutations if you got that correct. Barbara Eden played Jeannie in I Dream of Jeannie and ended up marrying the astronaut. What was his name? Major Healy was his friend. What was his name? I think he was a major. Was he a major as well? drawn a blank in my mind. If you can tell me what rank, the name of the other main character in I Dream of Jeannie, which was the guy who found her bottle and gave the 3 wishes to. Yes, his name was Master. Yeah, she called him Master, but what was his rank and name? Because he was an Air Force pilot and astronaut. Super Dave USA, Major Nelson, correct. There we go. Lanky Jen says, I forgot his name, but she called him Master. But yes, he was Major Nelson. He was Major Anthony Nelson. So when she fell in love and they fell in love and they got married later in the series, she called him Anthony. Or did she call him Tony? Anthony or Tony? One of the two. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to clear the board of these 2 questions. I've got plenty of questions up my sleeve, but has anybody got... We've got about 9.5 minutes left of this stream before we head on over to join the Nimmins for Nimmin Live coming up at 9 a.m. Eastern. It's all coming up. She says, actually, Larry is his real name. Yeah, Larry Hagman played Major Nelson in I Dream of Jeannie. That is correct. Larry Hagman, who went on to be one of the main players in the classic TV series Dallas, which I think was in the 70s, maybe into the 80s. All right, we'll head to the next question. I was going to ask a question in the chat, but I forgot what my question was going to be. So we'll get ready for the next question. What do you think? What do you think we should do? I'm going to press this button and see if they can tell me what we should do.
Subscribe to Doug Hewson YT for more tech for content creation.
Okay. We shall subscribe. Make sure that if you like the stream, if you're having a bit of fun with the trivia, give this stream a thumbs up. And obviously, this is a stream we do on Saturday, but the rest of the channel, we do, I talk about tech for content creation, talk about YouTube, we talk about cameras, we talk about microphones, we talk about software and applications. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can consider subscribing. There you go. The next question is actually a political question. We haven't had any of those tonight. Who is the oldest person to be elected to the office of President of the United States? Who is the oldest person to be elected to the office of the President of the United States? Or POTUS. All right, if you know your presidents, you're either going to start rattling them off or you're going to have an educated guess. 2 minutes on the clock. Here we go. Whoa. And it's counting down. And we've got those coming in. I think we've got some answers coming in, and we're going to start highlighting those in right now. Rishi says Obama. Obama? Would he be the oldest? I wonder. Sib Dave says the Donald, as in Donald Trump. Lily Trees also decides to go with Donald Trump. Tech for Your Needs is going with Donald Trump as well. We've got a bit of a consensus on Donald Trump here. I certainly think I've seen presidents that look older than Donald Trump, but whether or not they are or not, we don't know until we get to the answer of the question. 8-Bit Reactor says Donald Trump as well. Rashiz says, oops, of the Trump. Alex Tox is going with Ronald Reagan. 73 years. Harshit is going with Ronald Reagan as well. Twinkle Tanya is going with Donald Trump. So we've got a Trump camp at the moment, and we've got a Reagan camp. Both Republicans. There we go. We shall see. We shall see what the official stream answer is. Now, hopefully my source of questions is accurate. I know my source questions are very contemporary and up to date. They're not old questions, because these things can change. We have new presidents come in who might get older than the previous ones. Lily Tree says, don't let the hair fool you. Shelby's Corner says orange. Stand by. All right. We're about to reveal the answer that I have. Now, if you're going to... some people might debate this answer, but this is the answer that I got. If I can find where I'm going. I'm going to use a drum roll on this one. Here we go. And the answer is... Donald Trump. So we had a lot of people say Donald Trump. So that is the answer, Donald Trump. Who's surprised by that? Put a hand up in chat if you were surprised by that answer. I was surprised when I found out. I went, really? Oh, I wouldn't have thought Donald Trump, but he looks younger than what he is. So there you go. And Alex is bringing up a valid point. Google says it's Ronald Reagan. We shall the homework for this week is we'll fact check that thoroughly, and we'll get back to you next week. Somebody asked me next week, hey, what's the fact checking on the oldest person to be elected to the office? So obviously it's at the time that they were elected or won the election the first time for their first term. That would make sense because US presidents can have 2 terms if they win second term, of course. So it's obviously... well, the oldest person to be elected to office. So if you went for a second term and you won the second election and you were 4 years older... interesting. Interesting. We have a debate here. Twinkly Tanya says, Wikipedia says Ronald Reagan. Business Insider explained why it was Donald Trump. Interesting. Ronald was elected, I believe that is, at 69. Donald was 70. That's interesting. Twinkly Tanya says, but Wikipedia is not always a good source because it's written by peasants. That's right. Anybody can write anything on Wikipedia until it's been fact-checked. You might read something there that might not be right. I think up until Donald came in, it probably would have been Ronald Reagan because Ronald Reagan was a lot older when he became president than some of the other presidents that we've had. Super Dave USA says, Doug, you should run for Prime Minister. No. Don't think I will. Either that or run a marathon. Oh, dear. I think I would rather run for Prime Minister. Although a marathon would be good. Marathon would be good, but I'm not in shape for a marathon. I'd have to train. All right, let's clear the board, shall we? Clear the board. I've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the official clock there for when I'm looking to wrap up. So we've got time for another question. Here we go. Where is my next question? Oh, you know how I said the other question earlier would have been the hardest question tonight? I think this is the hardest. Here we go. The use of reflected sounds to locate objects is known as what? The use of sounds to locate objects is known as what? I had a guess at this before and I got it wrong. So 2 minutes on the clock. Let's see what you guys come up with. The use of reflected sounds to locate objects is known as what? It's a scientific name. What's it called? Stuff is coming in, and I'm going to start highlighting the answers in about 5 seconds. Rishiz says the first says reflecting of voice. Lanky Jen has come in with sonar question mark. Beanie Draws says sonar as well. Hashid is going with sonar. Lily Tree is going with sonar. Alex Tox is going with echolocation. Hashtag no Google. That's interesting. Twinkly Tanya says echolocation. 8-bit reactor says echolocation. Rishis says, in science, I don't know. Now, who was it that was asking for a science question earlier? There we go. Somebody was. Sound navigation and ranging sonar. Super Dave USA says bounce back. Because, yeah, as it goes out, it bounces off something and comes back. Beanie, what are you doing? Trivia FYI says it's echolocation. Beanie. See yourself out the door. Crypto Cruising is in the house. Late to the party. You are late to the party. My timer clock has just gone 0, which means I need to wrap up very soon because Nimmin Live's coming up in about 10 minutes' time. I've got 9 seconds left before I reveal the answer to this question. Shelby's Corner said, yelling really loud. She says, the question is very easy and not at all hard. Yeah, I think the other one was maybe harder. I can't remember what the other one was that I was referring to earlier. Crypto Cruising says, it is echolocation. Bean is correct. All right. My buzzer went off. I wasn't paying attention because I was reading your comments to myself. Okay. We're going to get ready to reveal the answer. This is the last question of the night. And we're going to run this on. Drum roll, please. And the answer is echolocation. You know, when I first read the question, I thought, oh, sonar. But echolocation is the correct answer. So there you go. There you go. Echolocation. Let's clear the board. Don't forget, every question that I've asked on tonight's stream, I'm going to be sending over to D-Nimmin for Nimmin Live to use for one tip trivia tonight or in a future episode. So make a note of the questions mentally or write them down or put them on your tablet or wherever it is that you might keep a note of these sorts of things. Know the questions, definitely know the answers. So let's jump on over there. Clear the screen. No more trivia questions tonight because we're about to wrap things up. And a big shout out to all the Nimminati who were in here tonight in the stream. We're going to head on over in a few minutes to Nimmin Live. So let me drop the information for that first of all in the chat. That's going to come up in the chat in just a second. The link to Nimmin Live. Hopefully that is still working good and fine. Yeah, there it is. It takes a minute to get from my computer and out to YouTube. There we go. And as Crypto says, sonar and echolocation are two different things, which is what my assumption was after I guessed sonar, got it wrong, and realised it was echolocation. I thought, well, there must be two different things. And 8-bit reactor has a point. Sonar is radio waves. Interesting. Yes. It's like a submarine. It sends out those beeps and whatnot. Where are we? Oh yeah, sonar is underwater. Lanky Jen says, my husband says sonar is underwater. Well, that's correct because you can, yeah, if we want to check a distance to the wall, my wall over there, I could shoot something and bounce it back, and the time it takes to get there and get back, knowing if I already know what the speed of sound is, I can calculate the distance. Which is interesting. There we go. A bit of science and mathematics to go out the stream. Okay, what do we need to know before we head over to Nimmin Live? Anybody got any last minute questions? Because we've got a couple of minutes. We can banter before we close. But let me have a look what we've got here. What information I need to... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong spot. Here we go. Let's jump over to this screen here. Here we go. The countdown to Nimmin Live is gone, so we're going to remove that and that. The Wake Up Show. Stay tuned for Nimmin Live. And there's my website, DougHewsonYT.com. I need to go give that. I'm going to give that a bit of an overhaul, but link to all my stuff is over on my website. You can find links to my gear guides. You got links to all my social medias, and links, of course, to the stuff that I promote, which is like TubeBuddy, for example. I promote TubeBuddy. I promote Morning Fame as tools for YouTubers, which I know a lot of people here are YouTubers, and a lot of my videos go out to YouTubers. So if you're a YouTuber, big high five to you guys. Make sure you get on over to Nimmin Live after this stream for sure, because you get a lot of vital information, a lot of tips, tricks for your channel from Nick and Dee. And speaking of my website, I'll drop the link for that as well. I'm going to drop the links. Tonight I'm going to make sure I drop the links. Even though it was on the screen just now, I'll drop the links. Modern Day Family Tech says, hi all. It's coming in right at the end as we're wrapping things up and just hanging. We're going to all head on over to Nimmin Live in just a few seconds. I dropped the link for Nimmin Live, didn't I, in the chat? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. There it is. Super Dave says, smash the like button. Indeed, smash the like button. Let me know that you enjoyed the trivia tonight. We'll be back next week with more trivia. And hopefully we'll be dropping at least another video between now and then during the week sometime. I should like to drop at least one during the week and stream on the weekends here on a Saturday. And I'm working on a few ideas for different streams coming up in 2019. And also, as I mentioned earlier, sometime 2019, we're also working on putting out a podcast, a tech content creation podcast. So that's coming up soon too. So if you know, have any suggestions on topics for my podcast, drop me something in Twitter. It's probably the best place to get me. My socials are on the bottom right now. On Instagram, it's Doug Hewson YT. On Twitter, it's Doug Hewson YT. You know my YouTube, because we're here right now. You can get me on the community feed if you want to catch up with me. I drop stuff on there maybe once or twice a week in the community feed. Now that I hit 1,000 subscribers after the new year, we've got the community feed. We're rocking and rolling with that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the next stage of YouTube growth, which would be monetization coming up as soon as I hit those 4,000 hours watch time, which these streams definitely help. And I'm going to clear this off the screen, and I'm going to say, well, this is Doug for Doug Hewson YouTube, and we'll catch you on Nimmin Live.